LifeCourse Online is a life planning tool that helps you define a unique vision for your good life and then gives you what you need to pursue that vision to the fullest. In this video, we're going to take you through a LifeCourse Charting session, a series of exercises designed to explore what a good life means to you while creating an action plan to get you there. Everything you do in your LifeCourse Charting session comes together to create your LifeCourse Online dashboard, a daily go-to space where you'll make your goals a reality. But it all begins with a plan. So let's get started. After you finish creating your account, this is the very first thing you'll see. The welcome page to your LifeCourse Charting session, along with every other exercise you'll do, is preceded by a bit of instructional content. This could be text or sometimes educational visuals and videos, so make sure to check those out as you go along for guidance. If we scroll down, we'll see a menu of all the exercises that our LifeCourse Charting session is about to take us through. Each one has a time estimate on it for the amount of time it takes to do these exercises. This will vary from person to person, but if you're scheduling time to do this, these can help you out. Now, before we get started, I want to mention some things that you'll want to keep in mind as you're going through to make the most of your LifeCourse Charting session. Number 1, your LifeCourse Charting session is one of those things where the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. It's not meant to be rigid, it's meant to be fun and a chance to explore, so really make the most of it. This brings me to number 2. You can always return to complete or revisit your LifeCourse Charting session, so don't feel like you have to finish it in one go or that the answers you give are finite. Finally, it's so important to remember that these exercises are meant to be as collaborative as possible. When you first signed up for LifeCourse Online, you'll have been asked whether you're signing up as an individual, meaning you're signing up on behalf of yourself, or as an account manager, meaning you're signing up on behalf of someone you support. Here, I've signed up as an account manager because I'm signing up on behalf of my sister Amy. So I should be sitting down to complete this session with Amy to ensure that everything I do is reflective of Amy's perspectives, needs, aspirations, and so that the result will be a plan and dashboard that's true to Amy. So with all that said, let's head over to our profile setup. Once you've got some basic information for the individual, so skip ahead here, so we've got Amy's name, you can add email if the individual has one, birth date, we can add a photo. We're asked to select a life stage. This doesn't necessarily have to be the life stage that Amy's currently in, but it does have to be the life stage that she wants to plan for. So next we're given some portfolio questions to start thinking about what people like and admire about Amy, what's important to her, and how people can best support her. As we're filling this out, a good thing to think about is some information that we'd want someone to know who maybe hadn't met Amy before. So in the next section, we're going to get started in building Amy's LifeCourse team. Our LifeCourse team are the people who help support, care for, and care about Amy, and who we've identified as playing a role in Amy's pursuit of her good life. LifeCourse Online gives you the option to grant dashboard access to the people in your team. This is what will later allow team members to do things like leave comments, create and interact with goals and events, and upload documents. So here we've got some team members added already. We've got grandma, family friend, myself, Amy's father, but I want to add Amy's support worker as well. So let's click add team member. So you'll fill out some basic information like the team member's name, relationship to Amy, add a photo if we'd like, and specify whether we want this team member to have access to Amy's LifeCourse Online profile. And you can choose to keep them without access for now. Maybe you just want to identify them as a resource, or you're not ready to send them an invite yet. Or we can select the level of access or permission level that we want them to have. So making them an account manager will give them the same level of access that I have. Or we can select regular user. For users, they're only going to be able to view and edit the goals and events that they've created or are tagged into support. So I think I'm going to select this user permission level for this team member. Now, emails are required for anyone you give permission level to, and this is because email is what LifeCourse Online uses to communicate with users. And that includes the email invitation to join Amy's dashboard that they're going to receive when I add them to Amy's team. So just be aware that any team member that you give a permission level to is going to receive an email inviting them to join. So I'm feeling pretty good about my team, so I'm going to head over to the caring for and caring about exercises. These exercises are about mapping those relationships you've entered in when you built your team and exploring the roles team members currently play and could play in caring for Amy, caring about Amy. So caring for Amy deals with things like supporting day-to-day needs and advocating for Amy, and caring about Amy deals with things like creating memories and knowing personal details and interests. You can add custom supporters here, and this won't actually add those people to your team, so it's more of an option if you want to note them for a reference. But as you're going through the exercise, it may actually help you recognize some people that you've missed on your team. So you can always go back to the Add Team Member section and do that as you go along. Next up, we have our vision tool, and this is where we're going to be asked to define a vision within the 6 different life domains. Now, if you're new to the Charting the Life Course framework, this might be the first time you're hearing this term. We'll dive deeper into these domains a bit later on in your LifeCourse Charting session, but you'll find brief instructions beside each one to help you out on this for now. So in this exercise, we identified several things that are priorities for Amy in pursuing her good life. For example, Amy would like to begin looking into getting her first job. She'd like to take on more responsibility with her dog Piper, including walking Piper regularly, and she's happiest when she gets to dance a bit each day and wants to keep improving with dance. We identified some other aspirations as well, but they aren't as big of priorities right now, and some of the life domains we weren't even ready to start looking into yet. It's important for Amy to define her own pace, and so this is also about figuring out priorities. Something kind of cool for people who are more visual is that you can drag the cards in order of priority to lay this out very clearly. So I think that's looking pretty good. We can head over to the next exercise, which is the life trajectory. Here we're going to dig a bit deeper into what Amy wants and, just as importantly, what she doesn't want. We're going to do this by taking what we learned in the vision building exercise to create Amy's overall vision for her good life, as well as specifying what Amy doesn't want, which happens to be long car rides and situations where she's surrounded by too many people. After this, we'll reflect on some of Amy's past experiences that worked and didn't work to figure out trends. So for example, she has had success walking and training Piper, but she had a bad experience when she took a group dance lesson when she found the amount of people there to be really stressful. Based on this, we'll figure out some things we can do with all this in mind to support Amy's vision for her good life and potential risks and barriers for her good life that we'll just want to keep in mind as we plan. Okay, so now it's time to select our life domains that we want to focus on. Life domains are the different aspects and experiences of life that we have to consider and make decisions for as we age and grow. You don't have to focus on all of the domains at once. If you'd like to focus on a few to get started, you can always come back and add more later. Remember those domain-specific visions we filled out earlier on? LifeCourseOnline actually shows us those here to help us figure out what we want to prioritize. Well, based on what Amy and I have already identified as our priorities, I think we know the 3 life domains that we want to get started with. So next up, we have the support star exercise. The support star is a tool to help us explore all of the different kinds of supports we have at our disposal and figure out how we can leverage them to make Amy's vision for her good life possible. This module actually comes with a Learn About the Support Star section to first teach you about the different areas or arms of the support star. Throughout this section, you'll find educational videos that really give you a sense of what makes a support star such a valuable tool and exactly what each arm of the star focuses on. So once you feel like you've got enough knowledge about the star to get started, LifeCourseOnline will give you space to fill out support stars specific to the life domains that you selected to focus on. At the top of each domain-specific section, you'll find an example support star filled out for that domain. This can be helpful in case you get stuck or if you're just having some trouble getting started. So we're going to start filling out these using the example stars as needed. So now we've come to the decision-making exercise, the second to last exercise in our LifeCourse Charting session. Here, we're going to explore the different areas of life where Amy will be making decisions, so we can figure out when and how much support might be needed for when she's making and communicating those decisions. This is broken down into 3 options: decisions I can make on my own, decisions I need support making, and decisions I need someone to make for me. This exercise is about building an understanding of decision-making skills and also empowering decision-making skills. It can be an especially helpful resource for people who may have just been introduced to Amy, so they could see the areas where Amy needs more help while being sure to take the time to give her the ability to make decisions in areas where she's identified that she's able to. So in looking through everything we've just done for our life course charting session, it's clear just how far we've come. And there's just one last exercise to complete before we're ready to head to our life course dashboard. That final exercise is goal creation. And this is really the bridge between the plan you've just created and incorporating that plan into your everyday life. So Amy's vision for her good life within daily life and employment included looking for her first job. So I think I'll start there. I'm going to name or describe the goal, and then I'm going to select a review date. Now, this isn't necessarily a due date. A review date is a date where you and your team will be notified on your dashboard when it's time to revisit this goal and check in on the progress you've made. So I'll select that, and then I'm going to tag people that are going to support Amy with this goal. So anyone I tag here will be able to edit, comment on, and review this goal, whether they're an account manager or a regular user. Then we're going to fill out what different levels of success would look like for this goal. And just like the review date is not really a due date, this section gives us some flexibility to, go easier on ourselves in terms of what success means. We might be exploring, and so we don't want to be too stringent here necessarily. I also have an opportunity to fill out some tasks here if I want to. And I'm, in this case, kind of using it to just brainstorm some different ideas that we kind of came to in our life course charting session, and almost using it to just keep them there in case we want to pursue them. I can add another goal within this life domain, but I think I'm going to skip over to healthy living because we did identify regular walks with Piper as another priority for Amy. So I'm going to set this one up too, just to give you a sense of some different ways to set up goals and goal tracking. So in this one, we're going to do it a little bit more concretely. And instead of using tasks in the brainstorming way, I'm going to use it to literally track 1 walk, 2 walk, 3 walk, 4. And that'll just give us something really concrete to go back to because we can measure success with a number here. Okay, so I think we are finally ready to go and check out Amy's life course dashboard. And there we have it. So this brings us to Amy's life course dashboard and to the end of this video. Make sure to check out our next video for a dashboard tour and a tutorial of all the features we're going to use as we really start to make this dashboard feel like home. See you then.